Hello and welcome back. I'm Bo.
And I'm Win.
And we decided that this year we are going to start saving based on the school year because Win is a substitute teacher, and because of that, his income is steady through the school year, but during the summer...
Question mark.
Yes. So we decided to scrap the whole annual goal thing and just work on the school year. So we are going with overall 9-month goals. And then in the next video you see, we're going to break that down into the next 3 months. Now, Win does not currently know how much he's going to be making this school year. The school year is starting next month. However, we're still at the question mark because he has to reapply for his job every year. So we shall see how that goes. But let's get into it. These are our savings goals for the next 9 months. So for the school year, this worksheet we got from Debt Freedom for Couples by Heidi Nash. She has a lot of good trackers on her website. A lot of them you can get for free, especially this month. This month she has almost all her trackers for free on her website. It's debtfreecharts.com. So, if you don't know what sinking funds are, basically it's a set goal you have and you spread out your savings for each goal. In essentially like different categories. So instead of having just one big savings account, you are saving per goal. So what we're doing is we're going to start with his back to school, and anything with an exclamation mark needs to be fully funded this school year. So we already have the money for his summer and winter camp because the kids did not go to camp last school year. But then for his back to school fund, that does need to be fully funded by May because we're going to have to do school shopping before the school year starts. And he doesn't start getting paid until after the school year starts. So, that's how that goes. So the amount needed is at least $250, and he has 9 months. All of these are going to be 9 months except for one. But that is $28 a month if he were to save for the full time. He's not going to, though. It's going to be broken down into 3-month periods, but not all things are going to be funded for every 3 months. You'll see how it goes in the next video. And then for his clothes and furniture, the amount needed is going to be $600 for the 9 months. So that's $67 a month if he were to save for the full time. That is not so urgent because at the bare minimum, we need to have money for their clothes for next school year, but not necessarily furniture.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good on furniture for now.
Yes, so that amount is not mandatory, which is why it's not the highest priority. We do still need to save something, though. And then his personal loan, this is the one item that is not a 9-month goal because it is due by November. So he still has $475.80 to save. He saved most of it already, but for these 3 months, he's going to save this amount, and that is $159 a month. And then he's not saving anything for his emergency fund. He has a 1-month emergency fund right now, and that is where we're at. Same for vacation. We're not going on vacation anytime soon.
Emergency or otherwise.
Correct. And then his wedding fund.
Oh, that's got to happen.
Yes, this is mandatory because we are getting married in October of next year. So that absolutely needs to be funded by May so that we can make reservations and everything. Mm-hmm. So that's $4,000, and he has 9 months, so that's $445 a month. That is a tall order. A tall order. This is one goal that is going to have to be spread through the whole 9 months just because of how big the amount is. But we're still going to break it down into 3-month segments for our sanity. Mm-hmm. And then his gifts.
Which I love giving, but that love is not mandatory.
Well, the amount isn't mandatory.
The amount is not mandatory.
He absolutely does need to give gifts to his children. This it's a requirement. However, the amount is flexible. So by May, he wants to have $11.50 saved because he has specific goals for each kid and specific gifts he wants to give.
Yeah, I do.
So that's 9 months, and that's $128 a month if he were to save for the full 9 months. And then his summer pay. This one is aspirational. This is to replace. This is to replace his like full pay for the 2 months that he's off work. This may not happen, but we will get as close as we can. So that's $6,000. He has 9 months to save that, and that's $667 a month.
An even taller order.
Yes, that's a lot. That's a lot, and any amount that we save towards that will go a long way. And then we get to my savings goals because as I've said before, we have separate bank accounts and everything. So that's all this means is that his versus hers. It's not who's benefiting from it. It's whose bank account the money's coming from. So my registration and license, which only I have a vehicle, Wynn does not have a vehicle. However, we both have licenses, of course, that need to be renewed. And at some point, we're going to get our passports renewed and all that stuff. So we both benefit from this fund. But by May, I want to have another $173. And I have 9 months for that. So that's $20 a month if I were to save the whole time. So mandatory, but not a lot of money. And then her subscriptions, my subscriptions, this is mandatory because I really don't want to give up any of my subscriptions. So by
sanity, wellness, these are mandatory.
Yes, sure. So by May, I want to save $678. So that's 9 months that I still have to save. That's $76 a month. That seems like a lot in subscriptions, but one of these subscriptions that I'm saving for is an annual car wash membership instead of paying monthly. So I will be saving money on that. So that will be taken out of my monthly bills and put onto the annual subscriptions. It comes out to like $16 and some change per month to wash my car unlimited times. It's fantastic. Because in Chicago, it rains a lot and
pigeons.
Yes, and pigeons.
The pigeons are real.
And pollen getting all over the car that like even the windshield wiper fluid like doesn't keep up with it, and like vacuuming out the car because children, and it's a whole thing. And then another priority that absolutely needs to be funded, her phone bill, which is for both of our phone bills, but I pay for it. And by May, we need $784 because that's how much it is. We have 9 months, so that's $88 a month. If you actually divide it by the whole 12 months, it's less than that, of course. But that is what it would be if we were to save for 9 months. And then another mandatory one. I have some mandatories. Her insurance, which includes my car insurance as well as our renter's insurance. We pay car insurance every 6 months and renter's insurance once a year. So that's $4,269 to fund the whole year. If you divide that by 9 months instead of the whole year, that is $475 a month. And then car maintenance, scoot this up. This one is aspirational, so not mandatory. But by May, I want to save an additional $1,000. And if I do that the whole 9 months, that's $112 a month. And then Christmas. This one is mandatory because even if Wayne doesn't fully fund his gifts, we at least want to make sure that we have like the bare necessities for Christmas, and children deserve it. So by May, I want to have $684, and for 9 months, that would be $76 a month. Now,
you're a terrible, wicked stepmom. Kids deserve gifts.
They don't. Shh. Don't worry about it. So this includes fully funding this year's Christmas because I didn't finish that tracker, and then completing the whole next year's tracker within this same 9-month period. So that is $76 a month. And then I'm not saving anything for my emergency fund. It is currently funded enough. And then her school, by May, I want to save $2,000. This is flexible because Wynn isn't starting back for his educator's license until January. So it doesn't absolutely need to be saved by May. But as far as we can get towards it would be great. And then we have 9 months to do that. That's $223 a month. And then her furniture, this is flexible. However, things tend to break. Stuff happens. So I would like to fund this if possible. But that's $300 total. Divided by 9 months would be $34 a month if I were to save for the full time. And then the rest of these goals are pipe dreams, and we are not prioritizing them this year. So that would be my vacation, my wedding fund, my house fund, my new car fund, my taxes. Those are, well, taxes are not a pipe dream. We already have the money saved to file next year's taxes, and we're going to take the following year's taxes out of this next year's refund if there's a refund. So if there's not a refund, then we'll save it that following school year. So that's absolutely fine. We're not going to worry about that until or unless we don't have a refund to use that money to pay for the next year's tax filing. So all of these goals, as I said, are due by May. The asterisk ones are the most flexible amounts. The exclamation marks are the most mandatory things. And I think that is like, I don't know, this is as close to realistic as we could get while still being like hopeful, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
And I feel like it's worth mentioning that if you've been watching, at least during the school year, I have a higher earning potential than she does. So it may seem odd that there's so many more amounts for her to save here. But the balance we have found is that I hold down rent and utilities. So a big chunk of what I bring in goes towards that each month. And these are the savings goals on top of that.
Yep. So if you haven't been following us, basically his bank account is like our bill account, basically. I said basically a lot. His account is essentially our bills account, and then my account is our discretionary or flexible, or like we can make some choices. Rent is not something that we can really make a whole lot of choices with because moving is expensive.
Yeah.
So that's not something we're going to do often. There's only so much we can do with the utilities because we actually share our utilities with the apartment next door to us.
We just pay half each month.
Yes. Well, we pay the whole amount and then
Yeah.
they reimburse. So they reimburse half. So like his stuff is more rigid and mine is more flexible. So I end up having to save more than he does. But he's going to catch up.
Yes.
And also he needs to pay down student loans. So.
And both those things have been happening and will continue to happen.
Yes. Now that the school year is starting again, focus on debt repayment as well as these savings goals needs to happen. So that is a delicate balance, especially considering he doesn't know yet what his income is going to be for this school year. But at the very least, the things with the exclamation marks need to be fully funded. So
and can be.
In theory. We don't know. Again, you don't know how much you're going to make this school year.
No, what I'm saying is even if it's just cadre, we can handle this much at least. The exclamation marks.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Hopefully.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't know if, well.
Until the money is in the bank account, it's not real.
Correct. So we came up with these numbers based on what we made last year, but there's no guarantee with this. And I'm currently like temporarily in a promotion, so I'm making more for the next couple months. But well, actually, I'm only guaranteed it for the next month, and then we'll see about the few months after that. But I know what my base pay is. His pay can be a range of things. So I don't know. This is kind of aspirational, but we're going to get more focused on it for the next 3 months, and you will see that in the next video. Anything else you wanted to say?
Only that budgeting looks like a lot of things. Sometimes it's tracking income, inflow and outflow. Sometimes it's narrowing down which of your goals or priorities. And that's why budget beats broke every time.
Yeah, and let us know what your savings priorities are for this school year. If you do it by school year, if you want to do the whole year, let us know. I'm curious because, everyone has different priorities. Never forget that you deserve financial stability, and I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.